Alleghany County Community Services. Last year, your $100,000 made it possible for our agency to match and receive more than $1.4 million in state general funds for the 2016 fiscal year. On behalf of the Board of Directors, staff, we thank you for your local support, and we also thank you and appreciate your contribution of $112,282 for FY17. I'm here tonight again to ask for your approval. The changes to the performance contract this year continue to be around emergency services. With the certified pre-screeners, we have to have licensed or license-eligible employees in order to perform that duty. And also the criteria as far as their education and also the on-the-job training has increased. And a lot of that is attributed to the Deeds tragedy, so they've ramped up those services. In addition, we've had some changes based on the Department of Justice settlement agreement. If you recall, there were some changes, federal changes that were put in place, and one of the primary things that is going to impact us is developmental services. That would be autism spectrum disorder and brain injury services will fall with the CSB, in addition to the intellectual disability services. So we're picking up another whole population to serve. And then lastly, the major changes to the performance contract would be our prevention services, where prevention was more focused on having services in the school and with children. Now they're looking at prevention services with everyone in the community. There's a focus on substance abuse services and alcohol services, and working with a lot of the retail establishments out here in the community to ensure that they're educated about the dangers of substances, and also with alcohol and selling it to minors and that are underage. So there's a huge focus in this performance contract this year with those changes. We've served, according to our data, 780 Alleghany residents last year, and then in addition to that, we've also served 444 Covington residents for a total of 1,263. And I think this is substantial when you look at our population here in the community across all disability areas. That's how many individuals we've served. I have with me tonight Ann Dean, she's the chair of our board, and Jock Wetlow, he's our controller. And I'm going to go over the Exhibit A that was in your packet and see if you have any questions, and I'll be ready to entertain that. But again, under the code, we seek your approval for our performance contract for FY17. So if you'll pull out the first page, which it looks like this, and at the top it says the FY 2017 Exhibit A. This kind of gives you a breakdown of our total CSB budget for FY17. It shows you on the left-hand side the funding sources that are available, and you'll see really in total what it looks like as far as state funding, local funding, federal funding, what we receive in total. So we're anticipating for the mental health services this year a total of $3,059,638. For developmental services, which we are seeing an increase there because of the brain injury and the autism spectrum disorder, and we'll be serving more under that population, a total of $3,871,568. And then under substance abuse services, which there still tends to be an issue with receiving the funding that we need to treat people in the community for substances, $620,757, for a total of $7,551,963. And then what it also does is breaks out the cost for the emergency services, and those are the people that we serve for emergency services, and then the ancillary services that we have, for a total of $503,408 and $177,709, which brings the total budget to $7,551,963. Now, your local funds that you're attributing to us allow us to receive the state funding that we receive. If we don't receive the local funds, then we have to request a waiver to the state in order for us to receive our state funds. So we appreciate your support. Your local contribution has allowed us to receive our total state funds. And then it always breaks down what our administrative costs are. And if you look in total, administratively, we have 16.79% of this total budget that's put into the administrative piece. Although there are more and more responsibilities that's placed on us, I've tried very hard in running the CSB to seek most of these revenues and services because it's important that people have the services here in the community. So a small percentage of that goes to the administrative piece of what we actually have within the CSB.